Hello, 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 everybody. This is Caron. I am so sorry for being late this evening. I accidentally went live in the wrong group. Michelle caught me and she said, "Hey, Caron, you're not supposed to be in that group. You're supposed to be live in this group." So here I am. I apologize. If you are joining me, this is Caron. I'm your ATX Stampin' Lady, and I am here with the Saturday Night Crafters. And I would love to extend a hearty thank you to Miss Kathy Irvin for allowing me to go live and make a presentation to you guys this evening. I will be presenting using the Enduring Beauty Bundle. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Give me 1 second here. Let me do that, because it will be my luck. My phone will go haywire. Okay, so that's all done. The Enduring Beauty is in the the Enduring Beauty is in the January through April mini catalog, and it is going to be carrying over into the new catalog that will go live on May 3rd, I believe, May 1st. Sorry. So this bundle includes the stamps, photopolymer stamps, dies, and of course stencils, or masks as Stampin' Up calls them. So as I had already started the process, let me share with you what I had done. So we have 2 pieces of cardstock that are 4 by 5 1/4, basic white, and this is a piece of designer series paper from the Hello Irresistible designer series paper. So what we did was, using the stamping platform, I stamped and heat embossed it clear with the VersaFine clear ink, and I did the same pattern on both the basic white and the designer series paper. All right, so what we're going to do next with this card is we're going to go ahead and we're going to color these images. Now the thing is, we have to make a decision, right? Are we gonna have the bottom or the top? That way you don't have to color the whole image. But let's go see what we're gonna do. Ooh, I know those colors were not in there, but you guys, I'm gonna start playing with the new in colors. So I'm gonna start with what is this? Peach pie. So I'm going to do some of the flowers in peach pie, and then some in pretty pink and petunia pop. So we're going to have some of all the new in colors in here. Ooh, I lucked out. So maybe it was a good thing that we stamped on this side. All right. So I will also be sharing this video on my YouTube channel. So if you are watching on YouTube, please, please, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you are watching, I will upload this video to the YouTube so that you're able to see it as well. Okay? So I'm starting with my dark peach pie. And again, how I color is where I want the highlights to fall, where the dark colors are going to be, and where some of the shadows should naturally fall. That's kind of where I start highlighting. Now the reason I do that highlighting first is so that I don't really forget, actually. is I don't really forget. So that's kind of the purpose for me anyway, and how I do my coloring. So I do my highlights first. And then I'm going to go in with my regular color. Okay? So we're going to do this one. And this one in our peach colors. Kathy had a little bit of a long day today. We did the Creative 8 retreat today. Started yesterday, so Kathy was participating in that. And it tends to tire her out just a little bit, so she had asked me if I would come live with you guys today, so I appreciate that opportunity. Thanks again, Kathy. All right. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the light peach. Peach pie, and I'm just going to blend out. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do it all. I know there was someone that told me that you don't have to color in all the white space when you're coloring. So sometimes it's good to leave, and it's completely aesthetics. If you prefer to color it all in, go right ahead. But it also looks like a little bit more of highlighting. Hey Kat, how are you? So that's what we have with this one. And I would not profess to be like the best colorist. But sometimes I sure do get some good results. And I love those times when I get good results. Alright. And so the last thing I'm going to do, that was the new peach pie, dark and light. And I'm actually going to go in with petal pink, just to add another layer of light color and dimension to this floral image. Okay, there we go. Hi Sharon, hi, how you doing? Alright, so the next color I'm going to start with is I'm going to do Petunia Pop. Ooh, I think I'm going to work with these because I see these purples in there. Yeah. Okay, again I'm going to start with my dark. And the other tip as far as coloring, and I think I've said this multiple times, is whatever is in the front, okay? So just for example, you see this leaf right here, I want it to be in the front. So I will put the color on the leaf that's in the back, okay? That way I can kind of present, so it can see that it can seem and appear as if the shadow is on the leaf underneath it than it's on the top. So that's another tip as far as coloring. Wherever you want to show, to present something that's a little bit more forward, you put the dark shadow on the bottom of it, if that makes sense in how I just explained that. Okay, so this leaf I want on the top, so I'm going to put the color on the bottom so that it brings the topmost layer into the forefront. And y'all know that sometimes when I'm coloring, I cannot speak. I can't speak and color at the same time sometimes. So if I get quiet, it's really because I'm concentrating, okay? Not because I don't want to talk to y'all. I just really can't color and talk at the same time. Then I want some of the dark coming from the inside of the flower, like that. And then we're going to do the next same thing to this flower on the bottom. And a lot of the things about coloring is you may have to change the direction of your image in order to be able to see what the artist wants you to see. Okay? Michelle, thank you so much, because when I'm coloring I sometimes don't look up often enough. So I know you're answering whatever questions. If you can, I really appreciate that, okay? So there's that one. And then we're going to go in with the light. Let's start with the one we didn't start with before. And we're just going to bring some color right out. We don't want to get rid of the dark entirely, so we don't need to start from inside the entire color, if that makes sense. It's just to blend that color. And of course, you know, with Stampin' Blends, they tend to dry lighter than they look. Give that ink a minute to set while I work on the others. Like that. And then I'm going to go in, and these ones are big enough, so I might do the dark. And this one is the, this is a light. I'm going to go in with the dark, pretty pink. And don't forget to go over that color, because you want to blend it in. Okay. And in some instances, I won't be able to use the light, just because of how much room there is left in the image. Oh no, you're fine, Amy. I had a little bit of a snafu, and I had put the announcement that I was going live in a different group, in a wrong group. And so you are just on time. You really didn't miss anything other than me coloring. So you're fine. Okay. And just another tip for you when you're coloring with alcohol markers, or any markers for that matter. So one of the things you'll see that I keep doing is I'll keep shuffling the tip, because I don't want to wear out one side of the tip. So I will keep occasionally, see me turning, so that I can use the different portions of the tip. Okay? You should probably do that with any coloring medium. Just occasionally change so that you don't wear out one side and not the other. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with the light. I just see that there's another flower right there. Now, what color do you think we should use for that guy? I think the Summer Splash in the new collection, that might be a color that appears to be in there. What do you think? Hey, Kat. Yeah, so this one is Summer Splash, and I think this will pick up the blue in here. So we're going to go in with Summer Splash for that last flower. Kathy? Y'all, I gotta be on my P's and Q's now. The Cat Master's in house. I gotta live up to what Kathy does with you guys on Saturdays. Alright, so there we go with that one. And then we're going to let that just dry for a second. I see one here. I'm going to put it there too. And then we're going to do the leaves, and I think my leaves are going to be, name a green. What kind of green do you think we should use? Or we could probably use, I was going to say wild wheat, but I'm not sure that's a good leaf color. So give me a green for a leaf, and then we can make that work. Alright, so now we're going to go in with the light and fill these guys in. And again, when you're coloring, you can leave a little bit of white space, because that can be also used as a method or a form of highlighting. Just by leaving some white space. Alright, so the colors used from the new in colors, I used the peach pie, I used pretty in pink, petunia pop, and summer splash. Now, if you also have, like I said, if you have the any of the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, those colors will work perfectly with this Designer Series papers as well. Okay, I got a Granny Apple green. Alright, let me find my Granny Apple. I must have put my other Granny Apple green somewhere else, because it's not where it should be. Huh. Alright. That's too dark. So I'm going to grab my old olive. Oh, here it is. And this is my dark old olive, and I'm just going to use the dark old olive again for my highlighting. Sometimes coloring really is just tracing, right? Today's my sister's birthday, y'all. I got out yesterday. She's about an hour away from me. And so I spent a couple of days with her, just because I knew I wouldn't be able to hang out with her today on her actual birthday. No. Thank you. She's getting ready to go on a trip. I get so annoyed when she travels without me. She is retired, and so she does what she wants when she wants to. I am not there yet. Soon to be, but not there just yet. And then I can go with her when she's going on these amazing trips that she goes on. I mean, she's traveled to Thailand. I mean, she's been to Greece. I mean, she's just traveled. She's my world traveler. All right, so we've got the outline done. And then I'm just going to grab the Granny Apple Green. And then we're just going to add some color here. Now, did we have to color this entire floral image? We did not. Okay? But I haven't decided yet, and you guys didn't tell me which way we're going to... It is. It was awesome to be with my sister for a couple of days. So this is going to be up to you guys. Am I going to do a diagonal cut from left to right or right to left? I'll go whichever direction you tell me to in the comments. Right to left. I got a right to left. Okay. Okay, I got two rights to lefts. Okay. All right. And lastly, I'm going to go in with the wild wheat. And that'll be just my stems. Okay. All right. So let's see, right to left one. So I'm going to cut right to left. So again, line up the corners into the track. And I found that for me, if I'm cutting on a diagonal, I will never start off paper. I have to start on paper. I found that sometimes when I start off track, or off paper, or on paper, off paper, I will snag or I will rip the paper. So because we stamped everything in the same position, you guys, when we layer this on here, all of the floral elements should align because we used a stamp positioner, and that'll be our card. So we can either use a top or we can use a bottom. So you really have, we can actually make 2 cards with this technique tonight, okay? So I think I like top and bottom exposed. Do you have a preference? I think I like top. Going once, going twice. All right. just going to line this up. Now we cut our designer series paper and our basic white. They were both cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So everything should be perfectly symmetrical. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's see. What's the next thing we want to do? We want to put a sentiment. So let's see. The sentiments that's in Enduring Beauty are, it's always been you. Love endures all things. You mean so much to so many. Holding you close in my heart, embrace the beauty of you. Do you have any preference for what stamp sets we're going to use today? Or what sentiment? Okay. So again, if we had known ahead of time that we wanted to do the top portion, we could have just maybe colored in this half of the picture. But because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, it was easiest to just color it all and then make that decision after. Okay. All right. I have the Simply Zinnia set, and we can use Thank You So Much, Sending Flowers, and Thinking of You. Embrace the Beauty. All right, Michelle. I'm a white on white kind of person as far as my cards. I tend to go simple like that. But we can mask. We can add a layer. We can add a layer of Orchid Oasis and then put that on white. What do you think? I think we are going to do the Orchid Oasis. And then a white card base. Okay. So I'm going to put this at 4 1/4. That's not what I meant to do. I did not mean to do that at all. So this is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. Perfect. Our adhesive foam sheets. Add it to our starry sky. And then that's going to go on our card base. So I'm gonna stamp the Embrace the Beauty, and I'm gonna do that on some black with white embossing powder, I believe. That's where my mind is going. That's where my mind is going to finish off this card. Now the other things we're going to do is we're going to put some gems on here. We're going to put some Wink of Stella on there because I do want my flowers to be like glistening. With the brilliance that is Wink of Stella. Okay. Put that on here. Here we go. Okay. All right. Last thing we're going to do is our sentiment, and this first card will be finished. Let me see. I don't think we had a... I know we have this die, but I might not use it. Another tip for you guys, with your photopolymer stamps, and I'm going to save this because I am going to, well, before I do that, I'm going to, is photopolymer stamps, you need to condition them to make sure you have a good, clean stamped image for the first use. Now, I choose different ways to prep my stamp, is I'll just run my fingers over them, or you can do it with Versamark, and just by stamping a couple of times with the Versamark prior to, those are another way to prime the stamp. Okay, so again, I'm going in with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to stamp it, and then I'm going to add some white embossing powder to finish this. Oops, that's upside down. Let's stamp this on here. Alright, we seem to have a good transfer there, so that's great. I'm going to grab out my white embossing powder. And then I'm going to heat set this as well. All right. So what I want to do is I think I want to fussy cut the sentiment. I don't want to frame it perfectly. I just want to fussy cut it out. So that's what I'm going to do. Grab my snips. And let's see if we can make some quick work of this. Top's pretty straight. And then we have a script on the bottom. And again, you don't even need to be like really perfect with this. If you kind of just shimmy your paper back and forth, it will kind of look like you're following the the script without actually following the script to the letter, if that makes any sense, right? And then almost done. I think here, I think maybe the bottom, that's where I would put, oh, I like it up here. Sorry. That's where I like it, so that's where I'm going to put it. Sorry. And then card number 1 is almost done. All right. That's not straight. All right, so this might be off camera just a little bit, just because I need to, I know I'm going to put this on crooked as you know what. I'm thinking about it. I'm debating. I think no, see, because it's really busy up there. All right, so I'm gonna stick to the bottom here. Okay. Stella. And I'm going to put some gems on here. Alright, y'all. And our first card is finished using the Enduring Beauty bundle. Now, before I take the stamp off, I'm going to stamp another piece of basic white because I do have this other half that I can still use, okay? So I want to make sure that I keep the cardstock, the stamp in the same place. So I'm going to stamp that out before I remove the stamp from the platform, okay? Just bear with me just a quick sec, and then I'll move forward onto card number 2. And for the record, you guys, I stamped with, I colored with the alcohol markers, but you can always bring out the mask, which is what the next thing we're getting ready to play with is the masks. But I just wanted you to be able to see that you can actually color them with another medium, okay? Making sure I get a good transfer of ink. This is always messing around with me here. Okay. What is going on with that stamen there? Huh. One more time, just to make sure that we get that right. So which flower is this? Is it this one right here? So I'm going to make sure, because that's all I need is that guy. There we go. Alright, so this is ready for the next one, so there will be 2 of them before the night is out. Alright, so let's clean this guy up and we'll get on to the next process. So the next card I'm going to do is I'm going to work with vellum. Okay, I am definitely going to work with vellum on this one. It's going to involve a little bit of heat embossing, as always. As always. But, where's my vellum? Gotta find my big block. I need a big block. Okay. Make sure I clean this stamp. So this is going to involve some embossing in, I don't know, I need to clean that. That did not clean very well. Now sometimes just because there's color left on your stamp does not mean it's clean, but because I'm going to be stamping into my Versamark, I want to make sure that it is absolutely clean and that there won't be any transfer of ink into my Versamark ink pad. It's already messy enough as it is. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so what I am looking for is, I know I have a huge block. Give me 1 second, let me go and find it. block for that one. Alright, so I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And I need this scrap alright. So this first technique I'm going to do is just going to be coloring on vellum, okay? I'm going to go about here, and there's no right or wrong in how to stamp this image, okay? There's no right or wrong, it's just your aesthetic design. Okay? And then, see, it did not clear, it didn't stamp clear. I'm not sure I'm going to like this. Hold on a second. And then I'm just going to come over here like so. After all that cleaning, and it still did not come out as clean as I wanted. So I'm going to go with gold on this one. You can emboss with whatever color you want. I'm just going to go with gold for this panel. A couple of spots in there that has some loose powder. So I'm going to go right in there and clean it up as best as I can. Okay, so this is our gold embossing powder. You can do this in copper, you can do it in silver, you can even do it in white, okay? Now one tip about when you're embossing vellum, with the Stampin' Up! Heat tool you have two settings. I would tell you to use the low setting, and then when you're embossing, emboss both back and front. Okay? There we go. We're starting to get this embossed thing going. You can see it changing. Because the vellum is a little bit more delicate than regular cardstock, you just want to keep your temperature down a little bit more. Definitely keep your heat tool moving. You don't want to be in any one spot too long so that you burn your vellum. You don't want to do that. And you can tell when you're finished. So then I'm going to color on vellum. And I'm going to hit it with a last shot of the high heat. All right, so there we go. So when we're coloring on vellum, you guys, we are going to color on the back side of the vellum, okay? And because we're going to do that, we want to make sure that so we're going to use the light colors or the dark shades of any of the colors that we use, okay? We might have to color more than one. So what color are we going to work with here? I have a Blackberry Bliss, so I want to definitely do some Blackberry Bliss. How about Lost Lagoon for the leaves? And all right, give me one more color. So I'm working with Blackberry Bliss. We could probably do a pretty peacock in there or something. So let's start with Blackberry Bliss and see where we get to from there, okay? So I'm just going to start coloring. And because this is vellum, you guys, I'm not so worried about shades and shading, but I am going to make sure I try to stay in the lines as much as possible. So again, I'm coloring on the back side of the vellum. So you can see the color coming through, right? Let me see if you can see it better. So you can see it's coloring. That's the right side, and this is, so I'm coloring on the back side of the vellum. And because we heat embossed it, the gold color on the front is what's going to give it its definition, okay? I grabbed a pretty peacock. Let's do pretty peacock here. for me, sometimes my eyes are failing me. So you guys, I have to turn it over so that I can actually make sure that I'm following the artist's outline for where the flower is. There we go. Then I don't think the yellows are gonna show up very well. Let's try a boho blue. And again, I'm only working with the dark shades, okay? Because those will transfer. You'll be able to see those a lot better on the front side of the card, the vellum. Like my English teacher used to say, or my math teacher, don't forget to check your work. So when I'm flipping it over, that's actually what I'm doing, is checking my work. Okay, perfect. So this is what you have so far, you guys. It is pretty, actually. Can you see it? Alright, so we're going to go here, oops, down here, with another blue. Yep, cut all of that one. Alright, so we're going to granny green our leaves again. This is so light though. You might have to go over the leaves one more time, just to make sure that we can see them on the front. Thanks, Amy. I still have this flower to do right there. So I know I'm already going to do the granny apple green on these leaves, so I may as well just get them done. So there's one thing I really do want to try tonight. Now we know we have to be a little bit delicate with vellum, right? And we have to be delicate with vellum because the adhesive will show through. So the question and what I'm going to play with tonight with my vellum is this. If we put some double-sided adhesive, we should still be able to make it work, right? I did not use, let's use our Lost Lagoon on the little buds. So we are coloring with Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock. Where's the other bud? It's right here. We did some Blackberry Bliss. And Boho Blue for the colors that we used. I think I'm going to put another Blackberry Bliss. This one is Blackberry Bliss. Any thoughts on using the double-sided adhesive on the project? What do you think? I think it should work. Okay, so I still need to come out here. Allegedly. I like that, Michelle. Allegedly. All right, so I'm going to go over this one more time because I want it to be a little bit more pronounced. So let's hope that'll be the effect that we're getting. All right. And then I need gonna go with Lost Lagoon over here. I like this. I really do like this. So we are going to put this on a, I should have trimmed this down. Okay. So all of our coloring is done. We're going to put this on a piece of, should we put it on white? What's it going to look like if we put it on, I think this is Pretty Peacock. Do we want to mat it on Pretty Peacock? I think we can make Pretty Peacock work as a background. We can make Boho Blue work as a background. What are you guys thinking? Oh, Michelle says white. Okay, well, all right. So the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to break out my, oh Lord, let's hope this works. My double-sided adhesive. Oh boy. I'm hoping this works, y'all. I'm saying a prayer. So all I'm going to do is put this on here like so. got this roll of double-sided adhesive. I went to a craft show, man, I think it was when I first started stamping. It was almost 8-10 years ago. So all I'm doing is kind of going over it with the bone folder, trying to make sure I don't have any air bubbles and all that stuff in here. And it's just adhered very well. That's all I just did that for. Okay. And before you ask, this is my adhesive scissors. I cut every single form of adhesive with these pairs of snips. Then at the end of the night, I go on in there with my alcohol, my rubbing alcohol, 91%, and I try to get all the tackiness off of it. I can tell you it should work on the vellum, you guys. Are you guys thinking about what kind of background we're going to mat with? Any one of the colors that we stamped with would probably work. Oh, Michelle said white, sorry. Ooh. This is like not the, this is the messy part here. I know, that's the problem. So I'm hoping that with the double-sided adhesive, it'll work. You don't have to be as careful with the placement. I mean, if the adhesive is everywhere, then theoretically, you shouldn't have to worry about it, right? I'm gonna clean this off. This is a lot of tacky going on here. But you can see the color work that we did. The gold embossing. Here we go. So I'm thinking that maybe next time if I do it this way, then maybe if I use like an X-Acto knife, that might be the easiest way to cut. Once the adhesive, the double-sided adhesive has been applied, that might be the easiest mechanism or the way to cut the card panel. I do not recommend that you use your best pair of scissors for this particular process if you're going to use the double-sided adhesive sheets. Do not recommend that at all. All right. Michelle said white, so we're going to cut a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, because that's what this was. All right, who's praying with me right now? Ooh, titanium scissors. Okay. Okay. I'll look at that. Now this is probably going to be one of the most challenging parts of this for me. Okay? And it's going to be challenging primarily because, again, I just have challenges layering things up, lining things up. What the heck? See, and it's not even straight. This is why I tell you I can't do anything straight. Oh my goodness. That's precisely why I told you guys I don't do anything straight. Because I cannot. And precisely why I use liquid glue, because I do need that extra time to make sure things are aligned properly for me. All right. So this is still a little off, so I'm going to trim this down. So this is supposed to be 4. So I'm going to make this 3 3/4 by 5. The beauty of a trimmer. All right. Now I'm going to map this on a piece of cardstock. Hold on. That's 4 1/4. So this is a whole panel. 4 by 5 1/4. Perfect. So I can definitely tell you that if you do use the double-sided adhesive, that will work. I don't see any spots. All right, Donna, you have a good night. Have a good rest. And I tell you, you don't see any spots. And I guess primarily because it's all over the vellum, it doesn't look like it's splotchy or spotty. So it does work if you put it over the entire panel. Okay, that's my opinion of that. All right, so the last thing is we are going to do a basic white panel. 4 by 5 1/4, 8/2 card base, and there we have that. Okay. Now, I don't know what sentiment I'm going to put on there yet, so I'm probably going to leave my sentiment off. You guys know what sentiment is in the bundle. If you have one, let me know, and we might add that one on there. I do know that Kathy does, oh gosh, I really do need to get this adhesive off. Giveaways for the cards. Michelle, have you been keeping track of who's been here, who is here? I guess I can scroll back through and see who's been here. So we can do the drawing. Such is my life, you guys. I start with a workspace that is almost 2 feet, 2 feet long, right? Almost 24 inches. And I'm down to a workspace that's probably about, I don't know, what is this? 6 to 17 or 4 to 17? What's that? 13 inches. That's about what I'm working with right now. Yeah. You are blending. All right. So this is the second card. I haven't put a sentiment on here yet. If you have any thoughts about that, please let me know. And then we can work from there. Okay? All right. So let's see. So the inspiration for that card came from Bree Kathleen. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this process. And all I'm going to do we're going to do a little bit of ink blending with the masks. So we're going to do some masking. Now, because I'm having so many issues with this stamp set, I probably should have put it back in the stamp positioning tool. And the problems I'm having is not necessarily with the stamp, y'all. It's maybe getting enough pressure for me to making sure that I'm able to transfer the ink properly. All right, here's my little Chucky tool here. Still that one spot right there, killing me. So maybe the stamp, I'm not sure. So this panel is 5.5. So this is a full quarter panel, okay? So I'm gonna just stamp this a couple times. So that one I'm gonna emboss with clear. I'm going to emboss one with, we've already done a gold, so I'm going to do one emboss in silver. I'm going to emboss one in copper. And those will be the last ones we work with tonight, okay? making sure I have good coverage of ink. For those of you that were here tonight, I really do want to thank you for spending some of your Saturday with me. Again, I want to thank Kathy for allowing me the opportunity to stamp and share with you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the products, and not just the projects that I've created with you tonight, but that you have some other ideas of techniques that you can use, whether it's with this stamp set or with another. Okay. I think we got good coverage on that. So I'm going to use bit gold. Let's do a little copper on white for this one and see what we got. Oh, it did not take at all, y'all. Look at that. It didn't take. Okay. Why did you not take, Mr. Copper? Why did you not take? Now, I'm actually pressing into the design, into the stamp, and normally you don't want to press because that'll leave some of the tacky, the ink on the inside. You just kind of want the ink on the outside, but I'm wanting to make sure that I get really good coverage. I don't know why it didn't take. So we're going to try again. Could be that I just cleaned the stamp. I see it on there, so something is happening. It's just not sticking. It's better. Much better. Sandy, that was a hope and a prayer, and it seemed to work. So I definitely go ahead and give that a try. And then I'm going to do one more, and this time it's going to be silver. So we stamped on vellum. Oh, I'm going to do one more on this. think that this one is a wing and a prayer too. Alright, where's my silver? Not sure why it's not sticking. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a pass. Alright, so I'm gonna do silver, but I'm gonna do silver on a piece of colored cardstock, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I want to do we want to do Blackberry Bliss with silver, Starry Sky. I think I like it's either of these two, Blackberry Bliss or Starry Sky. Do you guys have a preference? I'm not sure why this is not inking up properly. So, I didn't clean it in between. Didn't clean it in between, so it should work right. Alright, let's try this one more time here. So we're going to stamp Versamark on Blackberry Bliss. Go in with this Chucky tool, see if we can get really good transfer of ink. Yeah, I don't think it's really good. So this is another reason why what I would recommend, that when you're using a big stamp like this, use a stamp positioner, okay? Because if I had to go back, I could definitely do that, and I would be assured that the stamp would be in the same place and I wouldn't have any... Oh, this one's not bad. This one's good. This one's good. This one's good. And we'll work with that. Alright, so that's what we have to work with tonight for the remainder of our time together. So I've shared with you a couple of tips. When you're working with big stamps, I would highly recommend, and when I say big stamp, I just mean depth, width, I would recommend that you utilize a stamp positioning tool, whether it's the Stamparatus, whether it's the Misty, whatever platform you have, I would recommend that you use that. That way you can always stamp over it if you didn't get good coverage the first time. Okay? work with the copper as our next project, and we're gonna bring out these stencils, y'all. So let me just clean up a little bit here, get some things out of the way. So I'm wagering, for me, that either because embossing powders last so long, that maybe my embossing powder is a little bit older, or, all right, so let's see, that goes there, that goes there, and this guy goes, where do you go, my friend? You go right there. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna put you back on just so that I don't forget. And misplaced my acetate sheet. There it is. Okay, so that's back. And then we're going to start working with our embossing, our masks. All right, so the thing about the masks with the Stampin' Up! Masks, you guys, they are numbered. It's difficult to see on camera. The silver is beautiful, isn't it? It's difficult to see on camera. So they are numbered in the corner. And in this particular instance, it's 1 through 5, okay? The beauty of these masks is that you can use this little notch right here to ensure that you line these masks up in the same place every single time. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a little mint tape here. I'm just going to mask this down right here. Just put it right there. And then just gonna figure out how to line these guys up. So this first mask right here is all about the inner flowers. Okay. So I just made a little notch on my mat, and that'll be my guide as to where this needs to go every single time. All right, so what colors are we wanting to play with here with our blending? Try shaking my embossing powder before you use it again. Okay, I will definitely try that. So we've got the copper embossed. What colors do we want to use? Now this is just going to be for these flowers. So do we want to keep all of our flowers the same color? Which is what's going to happen. Obviously, we can change them. There we go. That's back in place. Any idea for colors with copper? I guess we can still play with our new ink colors because they're in colors. Because they're our new ink colors. Pink. Evelyn says pink. Okay. All right, so before I start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look. And what I'm looking at is to see what kind of shading this is going to have. Okay, this is leaves. This is going to be on the flowers. Okay, so I see what we got here. Okay, I see what we got here. So, pinks. Because they're new, we're going to work with Pretty in Pink. Now the one tip about using masks, okay? Try to go as light as possible to start with. And I say that because you can always build color. You cannot take it away. So start lightly. And if you see that you need to add more, or you want it to be a little bit darker in color, then you would go ahead and add more. But if you start with a light hand, you can build your color. Okay? That's number one. I'm going to leave this in place. Ugh, I just got it all over my hand. Okay? I watched, you may not know her, Lisa Horton. And what she said, I'm going to go in with a little pebbled path here. Oh no, let's go with a little Sahara sand. And I'm just going to use the Sahara sand just to add a little bit of color, just for outlining purposes, okay? And I hadn't tried it yet when she said it. So I figured tonight is as good a night as any to try that highlighting technique. And you just want to do it around the edges. You don't want to do it on the whole flower or the whole image. You just want to do it on the highlighting on the edges. I've been watching Lisa Horton a lot lately. She does a lot of masking with stencil or working with stencils. And who knows, our stencil game could probably, my stencil game could probably use a couple of tips. Okay. See the little shading and highlight there? Okay, so that's number one. Number two I saw was leaves. So I think staying in in colors, I think I might pull out Shy Shamrock on this one. Oh, this guy moved. He sure did. That's okay though, because we can line it up. This one is easy enough to line up that I'm not stressing about getting things in place. Okay? Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, stay in the in colors, and I'm gonna grab Shy Shamrock. I'm also getting to know the colors, which is kind of why I'm sticking with the in colors. That way I know, I kind of have a good idea of what they look like. This is really, this is a nice bright pink. I like it. Green. This is a nice bright green. I love it. Definitely one that is definitely going to be used for St. Patrick's Day. Definitely can be used in that case. I think this would probably make a nice Christmas green too. Okay, so it's, number 2 is the leaves. Gotta clean that in a little bit. So number 3 is going to give us details. Now, like this one might be a little bit more challenging for me to line up. Hold on. Hold on here. Okay, that looks like that. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. I think I got it. No, not quite. Not quite. Here we go. Almost. Almost. There we go. There we go. So this is going to give you the details in here and more highlighting. So for this one, I'm going to pop out the Petunia Pop. Oh, I love that. That shade is pretty too. Oh yeah. That's our Petunia Pop. Look at that. So if you'll notice when we were coloring before, do you remember where I was when I was using the alcohol markers, where I was bringing images, the petals forward? So that's kind of where this what is it, stencil number 3? That's kind of the same thing that I was using for the dark what are those things called? Alcohol markers. All right. Number 4. Number 4 is going to give us the definitions on the leaves. Okay. And I love that these are so easy to line up, y'all. You could use your, you could use a mat. What happened here? That's this one. This one. There we go. I got everything else lined up. Talking to myself, y'all. Alright, this one looks a little bit challenging here. Hold on. Let me get this where it needs to be. Okay. Alright, I think by George we got it. It's not 100% yet. There we go. I think that's where I need to be. Okay. So I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do here? Maybe I should have started with Summer Splash and then used, let's do, Mossy Meadow might be too dark. Let's try Shaded Spruce and see what, let's try Shaded Spruce and see what we're going to get with that. They might be too close, y'all. Oh no, I can still see it. I see it. Okay. So Shaded Spruce does work. These are little eyelash cleaners. There you go. Look at that. So I think this was perfect. So the Shaded Spruce and Shy Shamrock are good combinations. And then lastly, we've got the Stamen. Now what are we going to do with that? Now I'm not going to use this one. And the only reason I'm not going to use number 5 is because I heat embossed it with the copper. So it's already nice and pronounced in the image. So I'm not going to use that last mask to finish off this project. Okay? And that's only because I heat embossed it. So we can just use this stamp set as, this image as is. We can die cut it and put it on a card base. What do we want to do with it? Do you think we want to die cut it? Or do we just want to go ahead, trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4, put a mat on it? Or do we want to die cut it? I know we're definitely going to die cut our blue. Where did it go? Our silver. Where did my silver piece go? We're definitely going to die cut this one. So I think I'm going to leave this one and trim it down since I'm going to die cut one already. Okay, so let me find the die. I just lost a die. I heard it fall out. I sure did. Okay. Alright, Evelyn says to trim, so I'll trim that one, and we're going to die cut this piece. Alright. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this is going to shake a little bit. So bear with me. Bringing out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay. For something. Grabbing my lemon lolly here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to give it a little bit of a highlight. Give this a little bit of a shadow. happened here? No. Ah, I know what I did. That's what happens. Ha ha. You see the problem? I should have done it this way. I ink blended on the wrong side. Ugh. It's okay, because we're going to use it just for a shadow then, okay? That's all we're going to use it for. Just going to use it for a shadow. Just so we have a little bit of a shadow behind it, okay? All right. So we're going to trim this puppy down to 4 by 5 1/4, because that's a full sheet right there. Now I want this to be even, so this is a 1/4 panel. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off on one side and 1/8 of an inch off on the other side. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4 panel, and it's pretty even on both sides. So this is 5 1/4. Sorry, this is 5 1/2, so we need this to be 5 1/4. So we'll trim it down 1/8 of an inch on one side and 1/8 of an inch on the other. Okay. And so now I'm definitely wanting to offset this just to make sure that I can see the highlight, okay? Alright, so here we go with this. Let's use the big one. Yeah, these guys are going to have to soak in alcohol tonight, that's for sure. They are gummy. Okay, put that one there, put that one there. These are gummy. All right. So here is our third, oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. Third panel, it's offset, so it does look like we have a little bit of a sunbeam coming from behind there. Now there are other parts of the die set, additional leaves that you could stamp, die cut, and put little sprigs coming out, but I'm just wanting to keep this very simple, so this is all I'm going to do with this. And put it on a piece of, I like white on white. how simple that is. I love simple cards, you guys. Simple yet elegant is my preferred style of card making. Quick, easy, simple, and elegant. Well, maybe sometimes not so quick, but maybe sometimes not so quick. So we should have about a 1/4 inch border around. And there you go. That's card number 3. All right. And this last card, we're going to trim this one down. Let's see. If we trim it like, oh, it's thundering outside, y'all. Okay, so that's 3 3/4. So it's 3 1/2. So I'm trimming it down to 3 1/2. This is 5. That'll, so it's 5 1/4 here. Alright, so I'm trimming this down to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. That's what we trim this down to. Okay. Yeah, just started here. I'm supposed to get up and go walk tomorrow morning with some friends of mine. I think when I checked the weather report, it had said, what was it, 27? Well, I checked earlier in this week. It's supposed to be 67 degrees with 27% chance. But I think we're going to have more than that. So I may be not walking in the morning. Alright, so here we have this. Ooh. Can we make this work? I think we can make this work, don't you think? No, it won't work because we've got some over here. Unless we do it like that. I think we can make this work. Work, waste not, want not. Nah, I'm just going to cut a piece. I'm just going to cut a piece. So this was 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So So if we make this 3 3/4, by 5 should fit. And it does. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my corner rounders. Soften our edges just a little bit. And there's one more thing I want to do with this one. Oh, more than one. Sorry, guys. I love the ideas just come sometimes, and there you have it. Where is my? Looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with a marker, a pen, okay, and make sure we line up. I'm just going to line this guy up like so. And I'm just going to make some little squiggly marks. To frame my image. And I don't do Zentangle-y things very well either. So, but hey, you can't ever get better unless you try, right? Don't Zentangle very well. One thing you will learn about me as a creative person is that I'm willing to try just about anything. I may not be good at it, but I'll try it. Okay. And there we go. That's my quick little Zentangle, y'all. I never claimed to be an expert at it. But there's only one way to get better, and that is to keep trying, right? All right. I gotta go soak these scissors in some alcohol. Oh my goodness. They are gummed up something good. raining now, not just thundering. The rain is actually here. Okay. This was my top. This was my top. And there we go. And lastly, our yes, Mama, I hear you. My dog just came in. Normally she sleeps through thunderstorms, but I guess this one must have jolted her out of her sleep or something. Because she is in here. Just... Ooh. Yeah, it's coming down here. Well, at least my grass will be watered. Although they just cut it yesterday, which means they'll have to come back again pretty soon. My grass grows pretty fast. The weeds too, but the grass grows pretty darn fast in my backyard. Okay. Alright guys, those are the cards that we made. I know I didn't put sentiments on them because I'm not quite sure what sentiments I need in my inventory. And besides, if you win any of these cards tonight, you're free to put your own sentiments on them. So these are the cards that we created tonight using the Enduring Beauty bundle. Okay? So we used several techniques. This one we kind of just did a split image technique. This one we stamped and colored on vellum. This one we stamped and used the masks and practiced a little bit of Zentangling. And this one we just heat embossed with silver on colored cardstock, and we created a little bit of a shadow using the negative from the cutout from the die machine. So I did tell you we would try to make 4 cards tonight. We did make 4 cards, and you guys, I love this bundle. It is carrying over into the annual catalog. So if it is a product that you see that you could be able to use and incorporate for any occasion, it is definitely one to have in your collection. Again, Kathy, thank you for allowing me to create and craft with your folks and our friends. And I hope to see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.